Alright, if you want to raid into me now, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm gonna do that then. All right, we raid out to Angel.
Yep,
I
I'm
wonder
here.
what he's doing.
I wonder. Still checking. The realm is still down for maintenance, so we still got a bit. I'm stuck downloading. Oh, it's okay. There's a chance that I could still end up with a patch too, so I probably should like exit the game. Let's see if I get a patch. Yep, there it was. I was like, I'm sitting there in the waiting room. No, I still have to patch. Alrighty. Well, you're taking a nap, right?
I don't know. I'm definitely taking a break though.
Okay.
It may actually just be DDV though.
1 hour to 1 day to 4 hours to now five, now three. Scratch that. Four, now seven. That's funny.
Path of Exile update. Oh, my Apex download wasn't started yet. What the fuck?
There's apparently a 26 gig update for no end game. That's ridiculous. I mean, I know it's a brand new class, but like,
Oh my god, Belishar created
oh
you.
my god, oh, this lewd shark VTuber lady stalking me. I need help. Get an
Yeah, you
adult.
do.
Old still computer. Well, for me right now, it's reserving space. Then I have to download. So, and then I might be able to go into queue. So that's cool. I will be right back to take a restroom break while I'm waiting for this to download. We might watch some Path of Exile videos actually for like the druid, so we could all see together and react together on the stuff for the new class. So if you're interested in that, I could play some of that. So I will be right back. It's
Have a
very
good
busy, so
stream.
thank you.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go eat.
Okay, I've been
Oh
dropped
boy.
from the call if you want me to sit
Oh,
here on the phone.
I was gonna say I could drop from.
Well, I have no reason to be in BC if I'm streaming alone, so that's why I
Oh,
said
that's
that.
true.
If you want me to be there still.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I am alone. We have left the shark cat VTuber stalker lady. Who's Senna? Now we got Senna up in my stuff? I don't think Bella would appreciate that. Anyway, be right back. And then we'll watch some Path of Exile Druid stuff. Oh my goodness, now sent a sub too? Jeez. Don't know where that came from. I am back though. So chat, would you like to watch together the first look at the druid? Okay, alright, so let's go ahead and take a look. So... we may have ads, so I'm sorry. I don't have premium. But... like YouTube premium. But I apologize. Let's go ahead and... this quality is... ugh. Can I can't even... oh, because it's an ad. It's not the actual video. Okay. There we go. This is an ad. We gotta sit through this actual ad completely. I'm sad. I do like Alienware computers, though. My Alienware does not have an Intel, though. Okay, here we go. Just to preface this, this is Ziggy D, who's one of the content creators. He did get a hands-on look at the Druid. So give him some support if you did like what you see. So let's go ahead and take a look.
We'll take a look at the shape-shifting forms, Druid spells, and how the new class plays overall in the early campaign. I got a chance to record this when I went to the studio to host the Q&A, thanks to Grinding Gear Games for covering my flights to do so. Keep in mind that as this was recorded more than a week from launch, it's non-final, and stuff can, and already has, changed from what you'll see here. The new Druid archetype is flavoured by the combination of elemental and nature magic, combined with shape-shifting into various beast forms. It does the rare and challenging action RPG task of giving us the potential to play a hybrid of spells and attacks. The human form is where your spellcasting happens, and your beast forms are where your melee happens.
Not natural, this. Air's gone sour.
When you start on the beach, this is brought home when you immediately find a...
I'll pause it because they're red. Don't worry, I'll wait for the ad to be done before we continue. I'll even rewind a little bit. While we're doing that, let me make sure my Path of Exile hasn't somehow completed downloading. That's about halfway done. Alright, we're back. You back, chat? Alright, let's go. I rewinded it so that way we could go ahead and make sure nothing was missed. So.
Here. The new Druid archetype is
hold on.
by the combination of elemental
there we go.
and nature magic combined with shape-shifting into
I'm gonna break
various
Steam.
beast forms. It is the rare and challenging action RPG task of giving us the potential to play a hybrid of spells and attacks. The human form is where your spellcasting happens, and your beast forms are where your melee happens.
Not natural, this. Air's gone sour.
When you start on the beach, this is brought home when you immediately find a staff with lightning bolt to begin spellcasting. However, that is quickly followed by looting the new melee weapon type, a talisman. Talismans function just like any other melee weapon in terms of where your damage comes from. They scale just like a mace would, for example, with increased physical damage and attack speed. But, unique to talismans, they give you the ability to select a shapeshift form using this UI element. Werewolf and bear form is what you have initially, with Wyvern unlocking a little bit later on. This choice doesn't lock you into a form, but rather it just grants you the basic attack of the chosen form. Whenever you use one of these talisman attacks or any other shapeshift ability, you'll automatically...
I like how the blood drenches off of them when they switch. Like, look at that. There's like blood, and then they morph back in blood. That's pretty cool.
For a little bit more complexity as you go and unlock other pieces that they can combo with. The bear's maw...
I know. Just wait till you see the combat.
Werewolf's form, for example, creates exploding chunks of ice on attacking frozen enemies. So they're designed to support or reward the other shapeshift skills that you unlock later on.
Feels familiar somehow.
Each of the 3 forms also comes with passive effects and mechanics. The version I played was likely non-final in this regard, but for example, Bear had defensive boosts and generated endurance charges when rage was consumed, while the werewolf gets a sizable out-of-combat movement speed buff, which you can see in its movement as it drops to all 4s. You quickly also get your first actual gem on the beach here, Volcano.
By primal will.
This is a spell that causes an explosion and spits fire projectiles for a long duration. There's a running theme with a lot of the druid spells that they provide some sort of ongoing benefit and that they often synergize with things that you can do while shapeshifted. This is all to support that idea of hybrid spells and melee shapeshifting because, after all, if it was something a little bit more limited, like a fireball for example, then you have to make a clear decision between whether you use a fireball or one of the shapeshifted attacks. In this case, you can place spells, they'll continue to do stuff while you're shapeshifted. Perfect. More on Volcano later. For now, though, we can fight the Miller with volcanoes.
Look at him tear apart the boss, though.
Or with our chosen
So good.
Shapeshift forms melee, which is obviously what I go for.
There we go.
That's a start. Sleep now. Whatever's left of ye.
The first uncut gem expands your options with the Entangle spell, Lunar Assault for Wolf, and Furious Slam for Bear. I'll test all of them as we go, don't worry, but I decided to kick off with focusing on the Bear's Slam combination first.
So, how the skill system works for Path of Exile, since you're new, you don't know this. What you find are uncut skill gems, are called, and you can actually make them into any one of these categories on the left side. So, depending on the weapon type you're using, you can also make it into that, which there's sword there. Hello, flail. These aren't in the game yet. Dagger, flail, sword, and mace, or no, yeah. Dagger, flail, sword are not in the game yet. The rest of them are. Interesting. I don't think anybody noticed this. So sword is confirmed to be coming, dagger's confirmed to be coming, and flail is confirmed to be coming. So anyway, you get an uncut skill gem, and you'll see there's tiers here. Depending on the tier of the uncut skill gem, you'll be able to learn any of the skills. So like if you found an uncut skill gem tier 13, you could learn all of these skills, as long as you have the stats for it. There will be stat requirements up here. It'll say it requires intelligence, strength, so on. But you can choose which skill you want, and if you get a higher tier, so let's say you go to tier 2, you can level up all your tier 1 gems. And same thing. So you do have to level them up, so like if you got tier 13, you can level a tier 1 up to tier 13 damage and power. But that's how the skill system works in Path of Exile. So you do have to find the skill gems if you want to run a specific build. The campaign is pretty good about giving you skill gems as you go through it, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. I would just enjoy the ride. That's what I would say. Enjoy the ride, because you do get quite a bit of skill gems, so being worried about if you get any of these skills, I wouldn't be worried about it. I would think and give some thought on how you want to, like, what path you'd want to go. Like, if you're going to specifically play Druid, or if you're going to play anything else, there are spear skills, there's bow skills, crossbow, which I will be starting crossbow, because it's just a really fun build I like. So, I will be doing that build first. Let me check to see if my download's done. Where's Steam at? There it is. It is done. Alright, cool. Let's load it. Cache cleanup in progress. This may take a while. Okay, thank you. Thank you for cleaning up my cache. Appreciate you. Now let's see what position in queue I end up in, because the servers are supposed to go live in 40 minutes. Okay. Hey! I'm within the first 4,000 people! Let's go! Alright. We're good. That's actually way better. Usually I'm like 10,000 plus. So I'm happy. Alright, let's continue watching. It might be annoying to have that music playing in the background, so what I'm gonna do is actually mute it real quick. Sir. Okay. Alright. So, let's go ahead and watch some more.
Basic attack Maul generates rage on hit, and Furious Slam spends rage to empower itself with a more powerful explosion that leaves behind jagged ground. The fact that you're spending rage also means that this constantly maintains endurance charges due to the bear's passive bonus. Rage has been simplified across the game, with rage spenders now more consistently costing 10 rage, and a new visual effect shows in your character to indicate that you have at least 10 rage, making you glow, even in shapeshifted forms too. So this
That's
means
so
that
cool.
If you're glowing, you know that you can use a rage spender. I find the Devourer first up, so we get the first test of our metal a little bit early.
Aye, this reeks of the Devourer's lair.
Really? He fights the Devourer first as the boss.
The potential power
I usually fight the Ice
of
Witch.
combos.
You'll not harm another soul.
See how he slams and all of a sudden there's a bunch of volcano?
Fire globs at an
Yeah.
equal pace, but slamming them causes an extra set of projectiles to fire. So placing volcanoes on bosses and bear slamming them while generating and spending
Look at that.
is a simple and
He's getting
healing combo.
destroyed.
It's pretty short work of the Devourer here.
Bear just going in. It's the bare necessities. Look at this. You wouldn't see this in D4. Look at that damage.
You've gorged on the good folk of Clairfell long enough.
2x KO. I mean, that was kind of fun. I did enjoy the fighting game.
With the first support gem, I grabbed Fist of War to empower the Furious Slam, which plays very smoothly. It's perfect pairing with this, as you naturally tend to space out the slams anyway as you move around or as you generate rage with Maul. So the double empowered slams that you get from Rage and Fist of War also very satisfying, so pretty happy with that as a first support gem choice for this playstyle. There was some other interesting options there though, such as Overabundance and Burgeon for Volcano. So Overabundance lets you have a max of 2 volcanoes out instead of 1, at the cost of 50% less duration, which I think is a pretty good idea in many cases. Brings them down to something like 4 seconds maybe, but I think that's a very good trade-off, because you can slam multiple of them down really fast, get a lot more burst on bosses, and have your slams triggering 2 volcanoes at once. So I run into my first of the League's Vile encounters around here. These are just simple sacrifice platforms, basically kill monster in circle. Thankfully, they aren't even too strict about you needing to be in the circle. You just kill monster from the circle.
Werewolf looks so good too. My god.
Too much on the League mechanic here, but I will touch on my very limited experience with it. The basic premise is kill monsters from 6 circles, and then you go raid a ruined temple for loot and a bunch of crafting options to improve your gear as you level.
There's an uncut skill gem. See, like I said, that's actually a determined drop too, so if you find that little camp there, you will always get an uncut skill gem there.
For now though, I get a chance to pick up the wolf
It only happens once per character though.
Entangle, so I'll test those out in the near future.
I don't think resetting the instance allows you to go ahead and get that.
That grabs nearby
Now we're doing nature stuff with Druid.
physical spell damage while slowing the entangled foes. Skills like this are always really good for utility, like Oil Grenade, for example. Slowing enemies is really effective on Crossbow. I anticipate Entangle might feel similar here as a utility spell. And similar to Volcano, it's got that duration-lasting benefit design, so it kind of means that regardless of your actual leveling setup, your build, you can throw in some Entangles for some extra damage and slowing. I'm immediately pretty impressed with the feeling of bear form for blasting bosses here. Double empowered Volcano Slams is very rewarding. And the hybrid gameplay option on Druid means that if you need to kind of back off for a little while, you're taking a bit too much damage, your fluffs are getting run down, you can give yourself some distance and throw down some volcanoes and tangles and later on other spells while you're recovering. I'll take the opportunity before we test some wolf form here to comment on the overall feeling of shapeshifting, and it is, thankfully, seamless. GGG have done a really good job here of leveraging the weapon swap system, especially...
Look at it! This boss is getting deleted! Oh my god!
That requires zero thought on the player's behalf, which I think is really important.
This character's only like level 4!
Here, and then you had to like teach them a bunch of complicated weapon swap mechanics and set up for the UI. It would be a real problem, but you don't actually have to think
I
about
probably
it
will struggle more than that with my
in
build.
simple form. So spells just naturally swap you to human form, and your staff...
Look at that!
so that you
Just
can-
deleted everything around him, just like slam, dead.
Otherwise. And the shapeshift abilities need the talisman, so they automatically swap to that, and thus swap you into your form. There's no real delays here, and it just feels smooth
Look at-
and seamless.
my god!
Swapping between multiple forms.
Oh, it's so good!
Pretty fast too, because that was the thing from the preview that people were concerned about. Especially in war form, it feels very fast. The initial reveal, it did a good thing of like focusing on clear, low damage, low movement examples of mechanics so that you could understand what was going on, but it didn't actually show what it kind of felt or looked like to play the druid, and it made it look honestly a bit slow and clunky.
So much blood spilled here, the earth still bleeds.
The big
There's no way he just one-shot the...
almost right away.
There's no way he just one-shot the rare like that.
Much faster and smoother than
Oh my
I
god.
from the footage, and that's because you're actually using things like dodge roll and sprint to reposition.
Okay, yeah, you weren't hitting anything there, so you didn't get any rage. There we go.
And now onto the Red Veil Zone, I decided to test the early game werewolf style a bit more. Lunar Assault is a large slash melee skill that has a very high freeze rate and cold conversion.
Yeah, I see that. Oh my god, instant freeze!
And that can be paired with the Ice Bite support to give you a big bonus cold damage buff that's up pretty much all the time with this skill, as it freezes so easily on regular mobs. And
He's out of health potions. God, he's dying. Okay, there we go. He got a health potion charge. He needs to upgrade his
I
health
can confirm
potions.
that you can be knocked down while sprinting in animal form, and I can confirm that it's just as hilarious as it normally is. So this only happened like 2 or 3 times in the entirety of my playtime. I'm not sure if I'm just...
There's a sprint button on this game too. You don't have mounts, but you do have a sprint button. But if you get hit while you're sprinting, you get knocked down with a heavy stun. And there's an animation for it.
Immediate synergy with the volcano stuff, but there's no reason to not just use them anyway. Like you slap them down and then go into melee and tear them apart. And you get
This
your bonus
sprint
damage.
animation for Werewolf Druid.
As well as each other at this point in the game.
Or just Werewolf in general, because it's actually not tied behind Druid. You can actually shapeshift as any class.
Shreds that basic attack for the werewolf. It's a rapid combination strike with the final hit in 5, I believe, hitting twice. Each hit from Shred on a frozen target chips off a chunk of ice, which then explodes up.
Hello, Senna.
Delay. The typical approach for rares.
Look at this.
Use Lunar Assault a couple times.
It is!
Freeze them, followed by
Look at this! He's just chunking the boss!
with the icicles exploding for some pretty wild burst damage at times, especially on any sort of larger bosses. The icicles do fly backwards behind the target, but on bosses, most of them tend to hit, especially those bigger ones. There's a lot
And
of
like I said, you don't have to be a druid to be able to shapeshift. It's actually a weapon type.
here, but it feels
So you can be any class you want.
Potency is very high right off the bat, so it's a pretty good early game for the werewolf. I felt honestly for the first half of Act 1, I would say both werewolf
Your download stop?
very
Damn.
valid approaches with support from the spells. I don't know that I would go pure spells unless you maybe worked in something from one of the other elemental trees as well. There's no reason you can't mix and match those if you're using.
Look at this. Oh my god, this is so cool.
Like fairly good on their own, but you
The only thing, it's kind of like the Diana Q because it arcs. So you kind of do have to aim it a little bit.
Those are okay, but
Because it's a slash arc around your right side. So it's not going to hit everything all the time.
Since those pure
Oh my gosh, he deletes the rare. Oh my god, that was like not even a fight. He's not even running around with good gear.
The next tier of gems gives access to Shockwave Totem, Rolling Magma for the Wyvern form, it's actually a Wyvern skill, and Pounce for Wolf, and Wing Blast for Wyvern as well. So Wyvern gets 2 here because it's kind of first introduced at this
Oh
point.
yeah, here we go. Now you get to see the Wyvern.
To it on your talisman at this point, even if you've got the original talisman, I believe.
You don't really get many abilities with Wyvern, but, you know.
That would make sense. So this expands your build options in quite a few ways, about 4 different directions right away. There's a lot of lines of play on the Druid here, even right at the early game. So you can totem with bear form for jagged ground eruptions, for example. Rolling magma plus volcano as a combo there for fire-focused wyvern. The magmas trigger the volcanoes. You can incorporate Pounce into wolf form, which gives a bunch of benefits. And you can also grab Wing Blast for like a lightning-focused melee wyvern with its default attack. Since at this point I was really enjoying the wolf form, I grabbed Pounce, and this is possibly the best all-rounded skill in the entire druid category. It's a skill of all time.
I wonder if Pounce is a slam. If it's a slam, you can trigger Volcano with it too. So you can actually synergize Volcano into this as well. It is a slam. Okay. So you literally can throw down a volcano, slam into the volcano, and trigger the additional projectiles.
Which is honestly quite good on this skill. It gives the target increased damage taken. Great.
It's so good.
Enemies of your enemy that it has nearby, if that makes sense. So, okay, yeah. If you and your minions are standing next to it, it takes more damage. And it also summons a wolf companion each time you trigger the mark on kill. There's other ways to trigger it later on. So it provides its own minions to trigger Predator's Mark's effect anyway. So this skill does everything. Crazy. Obviously, it's a must-have in wolf form, but I used it in every single build I tested on Druid. I think if you're using a talisman in your build, you're probably going to want to use this skill. A Leap Initiator, Mark on Hit is really good for any melee playstyle, and it's good to just have unless you have like another movement skill that you really want to use instead. I can see you using it. It's important here, I think, that I drive home just how you aren't locked to a form as well. Like, you may know that, but it's easy to just not really think about it. Your talisman choice is only the selection for which basic attack you have. It doesn't lock you into a form. You don't choose a form like most games like this. It's
Yeah. That's a good distinction, by the way, just a heads up. So, the form you choose with the talisman... Oh, did my model decided to derp? Hold on. Yeah, my model decided to derp. Give me a moment. My apologies, I don't know why that happened, but I'm getting it back up. Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna be sad if I just got kicked out of my position in queue because of that. Basically, my system just derped. Apologize for that. Oh my god! Of course. Now, where I was at 4,000, I'm at 11. Because everything decided to just derp on me and die. Alright, well, we're back. Maybe. Is YouTube just gonna be this way too? Did everything just die on me? Is my computer just like, no? Okay, hold on. I think I gotta mess with things. We're doing intermission. No, that's not set up right. Be right back. What's going on here? Okay. Interesting. Let's see if there's something else going on here. Alright, you know what? Let's just restart that. And go ahead and load it up again. Is there like an issue with Cloudflare happening again? Oh, I get change my tags too. Damn. Like nothing's saved. Hello? Jeez. Oh, updated the tags at least. Okay. So that sucks. We won't be getting in as fast as I was hoping because everything and their mom decided to crash on me. So that's fun. And all of a sudden now it doesn't want to play the video. Yeah, I don't know. Alright. I guess we'll just sit here and chat about what we saw. Because it's not allowing me to. And then Path of Exile just died. Alright. Give me a moment. Mhm. Sorry, I'm checking something to see what's going on with this. Because it just kicked me on the Path of Exile again. Means I'm going to be even farther in the queue because for some reason this is not liking things. Okay. Wonder, do I have to restart my computer maybe? Don't want to have to do all of that, but I might have to. Yeah, great. Now I'm at 15,000. Awesome! This might help, so let me see if this solves my issue. Let's see if you guys can see it. And is that because it's this, or is that because I might have to try this? Yeah, no, I would have to do it this way. That's fine. Let me... Yeah, it just went up a whole 600, so that sucks. Alright, well, we will have to sit around and wait till we're in. I do need to, because for some reason... Let me do something real quick. Yeah, that's the volume mixer. Oh, Path of Exile isn't muted. Is it muted here? Oh, because Path of Exile crashed. Again. Alright, let me try something then. Okay. Now that I did that, let's see something real quick. Nope. Okay. I thought maybe I might have fixed it. Oh my gosh, it went up another 1,000. Alright. We'll be here for a little bit. Sorry about that. I think we're here good, like, for good now. Now there's still one pressing issue, though. So hold on, let me fix that. You know what? We're gonna do this. Because me turning off, I'm gonna verify the integrity of the files. Because apparently me turning off the sound, now it doesn't want to turn back on. So, we're gonna give it a minute. I'm gonna let it cook. Just sit back and relax, chat. It's gonna be a minute. Mm, I'm back. It's about a little over a third of the way done validating files. So, yep. Wait, do I have a GPU update? I don't think I do. Yeah, no. I do not.
Alright, we're over halfway done verifying the files. I just want to make sure it's not a communication with my portable SSD issue. And to make sure all the files are there. Yeah, it just sucks because for some reason YouTube videos don't want to load right now. Like, I have plenty of memory still open. My GPU isn't even being worked right now. Literally, it's just... Oh! Well, there we go. But now I hear no sound. Yeah, nope. It's not because... that's on. Alright. Be right back, chat. I think I've got to just restart my computer altogether. I'm not going to do it yet until the files are done validating, but like I have no sound now on my computer. I think that's part of the issue of what's going on. Just something... when everything pseudo died on me earlier, now like nothing's making system sounds. Like I'm using the volume, and you know how you usually get the little volume test? It's not happening. Yeah, I pressed the test button for the actual, like, my output. Nothing's happening either. So yeah, something happened with my computer just a moment ago. I will need to restart it. I'll be farther in queue now too, so yay. And League has started. I gotta love it. All of these things just cascade onto me. Man, that sucks. Yeah. At least my microphone works still, so that's cool. My microphone was saved for any issues, I suppose. But, like, my VTuber model died. Like, there's no sound on my computer anymore. They said there was an issue with my portable SSD, so I fixed it. Now it's fine. I'm revalidating the files just to make sure that I don't have anything missing there. Sad times. Sad times. On the bright side, another 5 minutes. Should be done validating. I'm going to restart my computer. And then I'll be back on after I load up everything again. And then probably have to wait half an hour till I can actually get into the game. So yeah, fun stuff. Started at 4,000 in queue. Ended up probably over 20,000. At least they're letting people in, so maybe the queue will be smaller. They should be letting people in anyway. Yeah, and it's not my headset that's doing something wrong because I have a way of checking the volume on my headset and it's beeping, so it's the computer not feeding volume out anymore. For whatever reason it did that. Cool. It's alright though. Once I get past this, I'll be able to enjoy Path of Exile. So, I will see you all probably in 15-20 minutes. So, I will be back live as soon as